Alright guys, I get it, you know the damn facts. Pardon me, just a little, annoyed at the amount of people who don't read the damn description. Anyway, for those who don't know, my most popular video at this point is my Sonic Facts one, currently at about 35,000 views. It has a heap of comments, mainly due to the video's slightly controversial nature, the basic Sonic knowledge required for the facts, and idiot people who can't read the description. Here's the thing guys, if you knew all the facts, then that video wasn't aimed at you. Also, that video was really bad. Like, really bad.
Yeah, Sonic fans. Hellos, people. There we go, that's a more general term.
No script or anything. Just me rambling about crap. So I thought it was time to finally make a follow-up to that terrible video of early 2013. This time, I'll be using a script, using editing, and actually speaking with emotion and expression instead of being a brain-dead, quiet, high-pitched dumbass. This time, I'm trying to make the facts a bit more interesting, as the last video was aimed at very casual fans and general gamers who didn't really know much about Sonic the Hedgehog. These facts will cover things like cool trivia in or outside of the games. If you know all of these, then that's great, but you don't need to tell me about it. And if you learned something, then that's cool. We'll be looking at 7 facts because I couldn't for the life of me think of 10. Now let's get the hell on with it. Sonic Unleashed features heaps of cool unlockables and secrets, many of which are found via collecting the Sun and Moon medals or the various videotapes and records scattered through each level. The game is bursting at the seams with visual details, making it an absolutely beautiful game to look at. However, Unleashed has one very cool hidden Easter egg in 2 of the gorgeous CG cutscenes, the opening cutscene, and cutscene 39, Dark Guy Appears. Apparently you can also see it a little in the Egg Dragoon fight, but I couldn't really find it, so I mean, I guess you can go look for that yourself. I don't really know. In the opening, when Eggman leans back to fire the laser, we get a very quick glimpse of what appears to be a Sega Dreamcast. Awesome! Now, if we look closely using an enhanced image taken off from the internet, we can see that Eggman's got himself a copy of Knights and a reskin copy of Sonic Adventure called Eggman Adventure. In the other cutscene, it seems that Eggman has a copy of Sonic Adventure 2. Similarly, the Dreamcast appeared in a few shots in the cinematic short Night of the Werehog, and a cutscene featured Sonic and Chip playing on the Dreamcast inside of a haunted house, but that cutscene was scrapped. Seems Sega just didn't want to let that poor console die. Sonic's shoes are iconic. Seriously, sometimes I wish I had a pair of sneakers like those, the only problem being that I'd look like a goddamn maniac. It'd be like walking down the street with Mario's overalls or Samus's helmet. It just doesn't really fit with everything else. But one day, Sega changed up their game a bit. You know those friggin' badass grinding shoes that Sonic wears in Sonic Adventure 2? The ones that are not only huge, but they sort of look a little bit like real shoes due to the curves and structure? Well, all those posters in SA2 advertising some sort of company called Soap were responsible for those sneakers on Sonic. They're in fact custom painted grinding shoes from the shoe company Soap, meaning that you can indeed buy those shoes. Well, if you want the colors of Sonic shoes on them, you have to paint them yourself, but I mean, it's still cool, right? You know how I'm constantly going on about that stupid Steve guy, you know, Bellina Productions? Well, did you know that his girlfriend has her artwork present in an official Sonic game? I'm not talking like a fan art section, I'm talking like actually being in the game. Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing featured a casino level inspired by Casino Park from Sonic Heroes, and the level's decorated with sets of cards featuring Sonic and friends' big fat faces splattered on them. One of these cards was meant to be Amy, but unfortunately the people at Sumo Digital mistook Rihanna LD's fan art of Sonia from Sonic Underground to be Amy, and ended up smacking Sonia's head onto one of the cards, and this ended up in the final version of the Wii and PC version of the game. It soon came to fans' attention and it was passed on to Sega and Sumo Digital. The fan art was removed in a patch, but it lives on forever in the Wii version, as the Wii cannot update game data. In the end, Rihanna said that she was quite honored to have her art featured in an official Sonic game, and Sega admitted that the image was simply a placeholder and was in no way an attempt of plagiarism or theft. I have to admit, I am sort of jealous, because getting your content into a big game like that is pretty damn awesome, whether it's a mistake or not. I know that most of you probably grew up playing Sonic Adventure 2 on the GameCube version instead of the original Dreamcast version. Hell, I was the same as well. I had Sonic Adventure DX on the PC and looked everywhere for a PC version of SA2 when I found out about it, but instead I had to get the GameCube one and play it on my Wii. Obviously, this is long before the recent HD remake of SA2. But did you know that in the Dreamcast version of the game, that a certain character is seen hidden around almost every single stage? The most common one known to fans is his appearance in City Escape, where he appears to be crushed by the gun truck chasing Sonic, but he has heaps of other ones too. Yes, I'm talking about Big the Cat. One of my favorites is the cameo of him hiding in a tree in Shadow's White Jungle stage. You just sort of fly past him and he's just sitting in the tree, and it's sort of scary. Also, almost every single one of these cameos was added back into the HD downloadable re-release of SA2. Big also appeared in certain cutscenes in SA2 by mashing the A button, leading to some funny results. He was also playable in some of the multiplayer modes, but was cut from the GameCube version and was not re-added into the HD re-release. Big the Cat also features many hidden cameos in Sonic and the Secret Rings for the Wii. Yeah, it's a bit of a weird one, isn't it? If you stand still in certain locations in the levels that feature him, Big will show up and do something weird. You can also find small notes from his diary about him exploring the Arabian Nights land in the storybook that Sonic is currently in. Big sure seems to get around pretty well for a fat cat like him. Also, on the topic of Big the Cat, it appears that he was mysteriously absent from the Sonic Generations story from an interview with his current voice actor, Kyle Hebert. He claimed that he recorded lines for Big, and his name shows up in the credits as well, but they weren't used in the final game. This heavily suggests the Generations featured huge cuts to the story, which may explain the lackluster plot and classic tales appearing from absolutely nowhere. Well, Big did receive a statue in the trophy room, but that's really it. It's strange for an anniversary game that Sega would cut so much out of the story. Similarly, Shadow and Knuckles were originally confirmed to be in Sonic Unleashed, but were completely absent in the final product. Do you guys remember the barrel from Sonic 3? Yeah, you've probably all heard the story, but it allowed me to, just explain a little bit for the non-Sonic fanboys watching this, okay? The target audience for this sort of video. In Carnival Night Zone Act 2 in Sonic the Hedgehog 3, there was a section in which the player was locked inside a room with a single barrel. Underneath that barrel was the rest of the stage, but how the hell did you get there? Jumping? Spinning? Do you use Tails with the second controller? Do you need an elemental shield? How the hell do you get down there? Turns out you have to press up and down in time with the momentum and movements of the barrel. The player's not really going to know this because the changes are so insignificant when you start up, and Sonic's sprite doesn't change while you do this. This was something that always stumped first-time players, and the reason this is a fact isn't for the barrel itself, but rather for the fact that Sonic Team developers Yuji Naka and Takashi Iizuka publicly apologized for the barrel during the UK event Summer of Sonic 2011.
It's about to get on to that. Iizuka-san, you were level designer for Sonic the Hedgehog 3, and a lot of kids in the 90s remember that game for one specific thing, the Carnival Night Zone barrel, where the only way to proceed through the level was to press up and down many times to actually proceed through the stage.
I'm responsible for programming that level, so I am extremely sorry. Thank you.
It's pretty bold for them, don't you think? I'm pretty sure that anyone who's played the original Sonic 3 on its own when not locked on with Sonic and Knuckles can hear some very Michael Jackson-y sounding tunes coming from the mini-boss theme, which changes if you have it locked on with Sonic and Knuckles. However, Launch Base Zone and several other tracks will stay the same, and they sound very Michael Jackson-y influenced. It has been popular discussion for many years now that Michael Jackson wrote the soundtrack for Sonic 3, and there's been many rumors, partially confirmed and deconfirmed by Sega around the time as well. While multiple sources have various ideas of why he was never credited, such as him not liking the quality of the sound chip, or the fact that his child abuse claims started to emerge around the time of the game's release, a new sighting has emerged with similarities to Ice Cap. The band, The Jetsons, created a song called Hard Times, which has a chorus almost identical to Ice Cap, with the rest of the song also still sounding like the Ice Cap track. So how strange is that? First Michael Jackson, now these guys. The only official confirmation from Sega was a small trivia page in a Sonic compilation game, which stated that at one point Michael Jackson was considered to do music for Sonic 3. Unfortunately, even after his passing, we still have no solid confirmation from Sega themselves if MJ did the music for Sonic 3. but we're still pretty damn sure. So thanks for watching, everyone. Editing this is going to suck, and I hope I provided some more interesting facts than the last video. Thank you all for watching, and be sure to leave any suggestions for future videos in the comments below. See ya!